Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd who can't keep her hair out of her face. I am in the middle of binging season 4 of Aggretsuko. And if you're not familiar with Aggretsuko, go back, watch my first review back when I had no idea what I was doing. It was cute. But I'm watching the episode that is centered around Director Tone. And it's titled Dirty Business. And being someone who has been a long time in the corporate world, this episode gave me a new respect, not just for the character, but for people in corporations who sit in positions of authority and the gravity of the situations and decisions they have to make. So I feel like we should talk about it. So I know I keep saying it, but just remember my contest is still on. I'm going to get to 500. I'm at 120 for my little bitty channel. I'm super excited. So thank you to all of you who think I'm worthy to subscribe to and have left wonderful comments. I really appreciate it. It encourages me to keep wanting to do this because it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy talking about things I love, especially when it comes to anime and popular media, Asian media, old media, that type of thing. So without further ado, wait, I gotta say the disclaimer. 500 subscribers across all the platforms. YouTube, Instagram, Twitters, but US address to get the fabulous nerdy prize of some kind. So now we can talk about it. This episode's really interesting, so I'm not going to go into the whole backstory of Aggretsuko because if you are in season 4, then you know that. I'm focusing on Director Tone. So if you've not worked in corporate America or corporate anywhere, not just corporate America, if you've not worked in the corporate space, it is a very unique environment. Everyone has to be at their best. And even if you're at your best, that doesn't necessarily mean safety. And when I talk about safety, I mean safety as far as keeping your position, because profit is everything, especially when you work for a company that is publicly traded and you have shareholders you have to be responsible to. That's like the most adult concept to understand. Even if you work for a small business, the business owner has to make a profit in order to keep people employed. Businesses aren't charities. They are charitable, but one cannot be charitable without being profitable. And the company that Retsuko and our other friends are working for at this time is going through a season of financial angst. And their current director is taken ill. And because he's taken ill, a new president is announced for the company, and that changes everything. So this is the part where I say spoiler warning, and continue if you want spoilers, and if you don't want spoilers, whatevs. So one of the hard truths of any company, small or big, is that one of the first ways you save money is by reducing headcount, because there is a human cost. And the larger the company, not always, but typically the better the individual benefits. Not just your salary, but there could be stock plans involved. You might get educational benefits to further, your higher education with degrees, university, post graduate studies, that type of thing. A volunteerism. There's just all kinds of ways that large companies recruit the best talent and keep the best talent through awesome benefits. It could be through their healthcare benefits. Maybe they've worked out deals with different companies where like you can finance a car for a really good rate. Just so many different things. But there's a reason the department is called Human Resources. The people are a resource. And sometimes those resources have to be trimmed if the cost of that resource is too high. In this particular episode, Dirty Business, our main two that we're following, Retsuko, star of the show, and Haida are having their little love tiff, whatever. They will they, won't they, whatever. That's a whole other thing. We'll talk about that another day. But Haida basically ditches Retsuko because he's nervous. And on his way home by himself, regretting his decision, he sees the current company president collapse with what looks like a heart attack. Basically, he ends up in the hospital, and he appoints a replacement president who is a younger man who is probably very capable, but also ruthless. Because to be in senior leadership in a large company, it honestly does take a certain level of ruthlessness that most people cannot abide. That's because you have to make decisions that most of us put up against the wall probably couldn't make. And that's something a lot of us need to acknowledge about those types of roles. The company was in financial straits before the new director took power. I keep calling him a director because I'm thinking of my own company structure. Before the new president took control, and he took inventory of the staff from the top down. He knows who the previous yes men are. He knows who the loyal employees would be. And he's also ready to make tough decisions if needed. And this is where director Tone's harshness over the past few seasons really turns into not harshness, but more of a fatherly love and concern. Director Tone comes from a generation where your hard work kept you employed. And if companies went through tough times, their first resort wasn't to let go of employees. It was to figure out how to make it with everyone. Not just make it, but to still be profitable with everyone as a part of your company. That's not necessarily the case in modern times. He's been with the company for 30 years. As in the accounting department is made it up to the director of accounting. That's a pretty big position. It probably pays well. He's able to afford a beautiful home. He keeps his wife and daughters in comfort. And a lot of employees look at him as just a strict old ogre who's out of his time. But this episode shows us how much he cares. He cares for his employees like he cares for his daughters and his wife. It is put to him by the new president that, you know what, for us to save money, we're going to have to fire people, and you need to figure out who to fire or who to encourage to resign. Because firing, I don't know how it works in Japan, but I figure the reason they want them to resign is so they don't have to pay like workers like separation or anything like that. Because if you leave on your own, no money. If the company makes you leave, there might be money. So that's what I'm assuming, but I don't know for sure because I'm not Japanese. And Director Tone doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to let anyone go. He actually looks at his list of employees and lists out their faults, their nuances, their character flaws. But he also thinks about who they are as people, what they bring to the department, their expertise, their families. And he knows that letting someone go means that whatever life they have is going to be diminished. It's going to be sacrificed. And he doesn't want to do that to anyone because he's been through a period where the company had tough times and they were able to make it. And this also reflects the structure of a lot of Asian families. I would love to say just Japan, but this is reflected in many Asian cultures, and it's reflected in a lot of African cultures as well. The male who is the head of family, hashtag head of department in this case, they aren't just there to be providers and overseers, they're also protectors. Director Tone in previous episodes has been shown to have a great love for his family, for his wife and daughters, to want to do anything to make them comfortable and happy, to see them grow and prosper and achieve their best in life. And even though he's very hard on his daughters, like, in terms of academics or anything like that, it comes from a place of love because he knows what it takes to be successful. He knows what it's going to take to make it in the world. And this episode shows us that all of his previous actions were really taken to protect his employees in the event something like this would happen. He starts doing things like not letting them use the air conditioning in the summer to reduce the cost of his department, telling them that if you have free time, you need to go find this from records. You need to find something to do. You need to make yourself valuable or you'll lose your job. And they think he's just yelling at him like children do. Children think their parents are only just yelling at them and never offering life advice based on the experiences they've had. Youth. It's just how it works. he's trying to tell them, do your best to be of most value so that when tough decisions are made, those decisions are not made about you. We really get to see Director Tone's heart in this episode. And here's the big spoiler, which I'm sure you saw coming, is even though the president was very clear with him that headcount needed to be cut because the accounting department, of which he's the director of, they are a cost. They do not, bring profit to a company. I happen to be in one of those types of departments at my company. Even though we add value, we do not add monetary value directly. We do it indirectly. And even when you do your best, that doesn't always mean you're safe. And he is doing his best to help his people be safe. And this also, in this episode, made it more clear why they centered so much emotion around karaoke, as we say in the West. To be in that private room and to be able to sing your heart out, it's a release of emotion. And also, if you've never experienced working culture outside of your own country, it's a valuable experience. I've gotten to experience working culture in several countries. Some things are the same as where I'm from, and some things are very different. But one of the things we did when I was overseas in an Asian country was after we finished working on a Friday night into Saturday morning, we all went for karaoke. And we all went to eat together and drink together and laugh together. And it built the camaraderie within the team. It made us stronger together because we didn't just see each other as coworkers. We saw each other as people. The director of the department himself actually made the morning possible. It was actually very heartwarming and a great experience to have. To see people of all levels connecting that way and not being afraid of HR guidelines and the rest of it. This is what you do. This is how we connect. This is how we come to understand one another. And after a night of karaoke, of trying to imbue his wisdom into his staff, Director Tone comes to the decision that there's no one in his department that he should let go. They're all qualified. They're all exceptional. And they're all his children. And he wants the best for them. I haven't gone into the next episodes yet, but my guts tell me I could be wrong. Please don't put in the comments if I'm wrong, because I don't know. This is just my personal prediction before I go into the next episode. Director Tone is going to be the one to no longer be with the company. He's made it 30 years. He's honestly at the retirement point, and he even tells the new president at the end, hey, you know what? If I had my way, I'd just be going out and watching the races from a private box. Yeah, hashtag foreshadowing. So we shall see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed that little dive into Aggretsuko. I love this show. I've been in corporate America since I started my professional career years ago, and I really relate to everything happening here. The inter-office relationships, the way corporate structure works, interpersonal relationships, the whole thing. I get it. Just trying to be a person making it in the world. It's tough. Adulthood is tough. But if we stick together, we're all going to make it. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's talk about it down below.